Hi everyone, it's Samantha back, just saying a quick hello, and I thought today we would celebrate that beautiful, wonderful time of year that is Valentine's Day. I don't know if you are lucky enough to have a partner who celebrates Valentine's Day and gets you something quite nice, or whether you're like me and I have to make myself something. Because he's hopeless and always forgets unless I remind him. He's not that bad really, honestly. So today I thought that we would make these really funky, cute little spiral heart charms or components that you can use for all sorts of things. And today I thought we'd make them into this really cute bracelet that you can make for yourself if you have a partner who doesn't remember Valentine's Day. Or you can gift it, obviously, to a friend or family member, your mum, something like that. You can make these guys into little earrings, and you can pop them like a charm onto a chain, like so. That's really, really sweet and effective, isn't it? I love spirals, and I think they're really effective in jewellery making and accessories. And I quite like hearts too. Okay, so today we're going to be making these cute little guys. Okay, and I'll show you how to make them into this really gorgeous little bracelet. Okay, so let's clear the table and I will go through the things that you need in order to make these cute little guys. Okay, so thankfully today's project, all you're going to need is, apart from ear wires, is 1mm wire. I mean, how cool is that? Great for a beginner. Okay, you don't need very much material at all. Okay, so 1mm of your copper wire, or whichever wire you want really, as long as it's, you know, sort of half hard and it's got a bit of substance to it. As usual, flush cutters, a pair of chain nose pliers, which will help you to form the coils. Okay, you're going to need a 6-step bail making plier, or for those of you who are more proficient than I, who can quite easily use round nose pliers, go ahead and use those. You're going to need a marker and a little rule or a ruler, depending on how you like to say it. And you're going to need a pair of these. I use these flat nosed pliers because we're going to be making these angles, okay, on the component here. So I find the flat nose better than the chain nose, because chain nose have a beveled edge and you don't get the same angle. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to that. So you're going to need a pair of those if you have some. Okay, and that is it. All right, so I'll clear this lot away and then we'll go through making these cute little guys. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. So let's go ahead and make some of these cute little components. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is measure out your wire. So for these little guys, they measure from the top to the bottom around about 1.5 centimeters, okay, and width again about 1.5 centimeters, which I think, you know, I've got quite large hands, but that's quite a nice little size. Okay, so you can have a play about with your measurements yourself and make them either larger or smaller. And I like quite a squat little heart, but you can make them, you know, sort of with longer points, things like that. So, but this is just the measurements for these particular guys here. So each one of these is going to take 11 centimeters of 1mm wire. Okay, so come in with our flush cutters, and as usual, flush cut the end for neatness, and just straighten your wire out, move those out of the way, and 11 centimeters. Okay, so we'll measure it on our ruler and flush cut the 11 centimeters. Okay, so just get rid of that. So here we have our length. We want to find the center point of this. So the easiest way that I find to do it is to just mark it halfway. You can get rid of marks a little bit later on when you're cleaning the item, so don't worry about marking it at this point. So half of 11 is 5.5 centimeters. Just give it a tiny little mark, as you can see there. Okay, so this is where we come in with our wider flat nose, and on the mark, as you can see here, let me just move this out of the way, you want to place your mark just to the left of where your plier starts. Okay, now the reason for that is if you completely centralize it, when you bend this over, it will be slightly offset. So just to the right, and then bend it at an angle like so. So you have this. This is like a V shape essentially. Okay. So there's our first stage done. Okay, so come in with the smallest step on your plier, and we're going to be making these little coils here on either side. Okay, so with the smallest step, pop the wire right towards the very end so you can't feel it, and roll your wrist round and make the beginnings of your coil. Okay, so you do that on both sides. So again, nice and firmly. Okay, so you start making your coil on either side. Can you see that? Okay, so bring in your chain nose pliers, and this is where we're going to be starting the coil work. Very, very simple. So taking your chain nose, lightly grasp and use your thumb and your finger here, the pads, grasp the coil and move with this thumb and finger here, move the wire around so it creates a coil, readjusting it as you go if you need to. Okay. Now I do it until the point here faces downwards towards the V at the bottom. Okay, can you see that? That's the first coil made. Okay, so turn it over, with, if you're left or right-handed, however it feels comfortable for you. We're going to be doing exactly the same. But as you get closer, you'll find that it's slightly more difficult here. So it's okay to make the coil underneath the bottom one. This first one, should I say. I'll show you what I mean now. So bend it round using these pads of your forefinger, your pointer finger, and your thumb. Wind it round, 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 round. Okay, so you get into this kind of angle here. So in order to get them symmetrical, you can go behind. Okay, so you see how I've gone behind it there a little bit. And all you have to do is just gently pull it apart and make sure that your little heart is neat and tidy. Okay, so it's really that easy, guys. You perfect for the beginner here. Okay, so how does that look? And if you want, as you're making them, you can put them on top of each other and just sort of make sure that they're the right size, the right shape, and that they all sort of match up pretty much the same, which these guys do. Okay, so shall we do another one just quickly? Okay, so take your length of wire, flush cut it, and measure out your 11 centimetres. I'll put the inch equivalents and the gauge equivalents in the description, guys, okay? Okay, so snip that off. Take your marker and measure the halfway point, which is 5.5 centimetres in this case. I mean, you could make these bigger if you want, or a tiny bit smaller. Once you learn the principle of how to do it, you can make them in any size you like. Okay, so grasp just to the right of the mark and bend it to that kind of angle, okay? Come in with your small step on your plier around to start the coil, and then again on the other side around to make the coil. Okay, and then we come in with the chain nose, and with these thumb and forefinger, and gently but firmly with the flat of your chain nose, wind it round, nice and neatly but firmly, until that end there is pointing downwards. Can you see it's pointing towards this V part here? Turn it around and round and round. Keep going nice and firmly, readjusting any bends if there are any as you go. And again, there we go. So how cute are they? They're really sweet, aren't they? Okay, so at this particular stage you can make these into earrings, which I've done here. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make these little links here to link these guys up to make the bracelet, but you can also use these little links and a jump ring to make little earrings. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to make some of these little figure of 8 links, okay, because the bracelet is, I can show you closely, is linked together by these little figure of 8 links. So this is completely handmade. Make a beautiful gift for a friend, or your mum, or anybody who you want to gift with the gift of love, essentially, I think. Okay, can you see those? There we go. Okay, so I'll pop that there. So these little figure of 8 links are perfectly fitting into these little apertures here, these little holes here. Okay, so I've worked out that each one of these takes 3 centimetres of wire. Okay, so I'll just pop those there for now. I'll show you quickly how to make one of these. Flush cut, as usual. Nice to have nice sharp edges. And measure your 3 centimetres of wire. Okay. Now for those of you guys who use round nose pliers, you just go ahead and make these as you see fit. I use the 3rd step on my plier to make these. So again, right at the very edge, so you can't feel it. Using the pad of your thumb, bend it round so we have this shape, okay? And turn it over, because we want to make the next one obviously in the opposite direction, okay? So around and around. Okay, there's our little figure of 8 link. So what I like to do is just to come in with my chain nose and just even those up a little bit. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, so you need to make quite a few of those because we want to be linking all of these little hearts together like so. Okay, so I'll come back to you in a little while when I've made a few more of these, and I'll show you how to link them together. Okay, so I'll see you in a few secs. So now, hopefully, happily, you've made quite a few of these cute little guys, and you've made them all pretty much the same shape, size should I say. It doesn't really matter because obviously, like we know with handmade, it's quite often we don't want things to look like they've come off the factory floor, do we? So don't worry too much about them being completely perfect. I like a little bit of imperfection in things anyway. Okay, so let's link some of these together. Right, so all you need to do is take one of your little figure of 8 links. Now if you remember, we don't open outwards, we open up and downwards like so. Okay, can you see that? Move these out of the way so you can focus. There we go. We take our first little heart component link and literally pop it onto the figure of 8 link there. Okay, and then close it up. Okay, can you see that? So we have one attached. Okay, same thing. Take our little figure of 8, open it upwards like so, and then take our next. You see how that just hooks on through the hole there? And again, close it up. Okay, so that's the first 2. So we take our next little charm or component and we want to attach the point to these bits here. Okay, so we open the link outwards or inwards, it doesn't matter. Okay, and pop the point of the charm on, close it up. Okay, we want to do exactly the same on this side. So open it up, pop the charm on, and close that link up. Okay, so we can see that's how they link up. Okay, just do one more very quickly. So open, slip it on, and close. Okay, take another, open, slip it on and close. Okay, and we'll pop another one on. So you're essentially just making a chain with these. I mean, I think you could probably make a beautiful necklace out of this as well, so world's your oyster. Okay, so just pop the point on and close. Open this guy. Okay, pop it on and oops, close it up. Okay, so there we are. That's this. You've got 3 attached now. Can you see how that works? Aren't they beautiful? Really, really sweet. Make a gorgeous bracelet. Okay, so in order to attach the bracelet, the clasp is very, very simple. It just attaches like so. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you how to make the clasp. Again, using 1mm wire. There you go, real cute, isn't it? Okay, so to make the clasp for the end, take your 1mm wire again, great project because you can make the whole thing out of 1mm wire, which I think is great. Okay, so for this I would say you probably need about so much wire, which is how many centimeters? 8, something like that. Okay. Okay, so straighten it up. The very, very tip, just move those out of the way. The very, very tip, just bend it inwards. So you have this, and just quickly squeeze that in to make that. Okay, you see that? Now I think I used, now which one did I use? There's a 5th, yeah, the 5th step on my plier to make the small hook. Okay, so with the hoop facing you and the 5th plier away from you, step should I say, away from you, pop it in between so that you can feel the hook, you know, butt up against it. Wind it round like so until it almost meets, like so. Okay, you see that? Get your chain nose, and just where that meets the long part, place your plier and very gently make an angle like so. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to make this little hook. So place your plier about there, bend it away from you at an angle like so, come in with the second step of your plier, almost like we're making, well, we are making a wrapped loop. Okay, so over, rotate your plier and over. And that's what we have. Okay, you see that there? You need to now grasp the hoop nice and firmly and wind this guy around a couple of times. Okay, so grasp it tightly, wind it round once and twice, and then back under. Okay, and then just trim. So you could have done with slightly less than 8 centimeters, I think, actually, but that's okay. Better to have too much than not enough, I think. Okay, and then just come in with your plier and just tidy that up so there's no sharp edges. Okay. Okay, so you've made your little clasp. Okay, so at the very end of your, when you've made your bracelet in its entirety, you want to be able to get 2 of your figure of 8 clasps. Okay, just like you did before, into the little holes here, little spaces. Close that up, and another one, and again, so the little hole is there, close it up. Okay, so you've got 2 spare ones on the end. And this is where we attach our clasp. Okay, so just like before when you were attaching the bottom of the heart, you now want to be opening that up, pop your clasp on, and with the other one, open that up, pop your clasp on so that it's secured by both, and there you go. Can you see that? So we've now attached the little shepherd's hook clasp onto the end of our bracelet. Actually, you know what? If that was an ear wire, that would be a really pretty earring, wouldn't it? So you can make dangly earrings in 2s and 3s, or more than that. You can make this into necklaces. I really thought that it looked really effective as a bracelet. Do you think? So I think I'm going to make another one of these for my mum because she likes the silver tone, and I think I will probably put some patina on one of these because I do like the more sort of aged as well as the bright copper too. So Wilge your oyster. I hope you have lots of fun making these cute little guys. You can use these components for all sorts of things. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Okay, so it's really nice to have you here as always, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.